Okay, folks, it is 5:30, and so Chairman Lackey, if you'll start the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Meeting come to order, please. Mike, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Baldry,
Yes.
Commissioner Crowhan, Commissioner Crowhan, I think you're muted. We can't hear you, Don. Okay, I see that you're here. So we'll move on to Commissioner Hatcher.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lane,
Here.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Here.
Commissioner Richter,
Here.
Commissioner Rose,
Here.
Commissioner Sanders,
Here.
Chairman Lackey,
Here.
and back to Commissioner Lucian. Okay, we do have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I will need a motion to hold this meeting electronically due to COVID, if you would, please.
I make the motion that we hold this meeting electronically due to the COVID pandemic.
Second. Commissioner Richter, second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Crowhan,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
is Commissioner Lucian with us yet?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter, I think somebody needs to mute there. There we go. That's better. Is Commissioner Richter with us on this one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Rose?
Sorry.
That's all right. Commissioner Rose?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Sanders?
Yes.
Chairman Lackey?
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Staff announcements?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, Don.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I do have just a couple of quick announcements. The first is that item number 12 on the agenda has been withdrawn. We also have revised staff reports for items 16 and 17.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Consideration of the minutes of December 10, 2020. Their motion? Any adjustments or changes?
Move we accept them as written.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Crowhan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey,
Yes.
And
Motion
that-
carries.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of the consent agenda. Anyone wishing to pull an item for separate discussion, please say so now, or we'll take it as a whole. Anyone? I hear none. Excuse me, Mike, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Beginning with number 3, Burning Tree Farms, section 1, maintenance bond for roads, drainage and erosion control, $125,000. Recommendation, extend in the current amount for 1 year. Item 4, Falls Grove, section 1, maintenance bond for roads, drainage and erosion control, $290,000. Recommendation, release bond. Item 5, Hardeman Springs, section 1, maintenance bond for landscaping, $25,245. Recommendation, extend in the current amount for 6 months. Item 6, Hardeman Springs wastewater system area, performance bond for landscaping, $63,850. Recommendation, extend in the current amount for 6 months and require the landscaping to be installed prior to the next review. Item 7, Rondo Pools, performance bond for landscaping, $87,230. Recommendation, extend in the current amount for 6 months and require the landscaping to be installed prior to the next review. Item 8, The Grove, section 8, performance bond for wastewater collection system, $20,200. Recommendation, convert to maintenance in the amount of $6,060 for a period of 2 years. Item 9, The Grove, section 9, performance bond for wastewater collection system, $166,200. Recommendation, convert to maintenance in the amount of $6,060 for a period of 2 years. Item 9, The Grove, section 9, performance bond for wastewater collection system, $166,200. I beg your pardon. Recommendation to convert to maintenance in the amount of $49,860 for a period of 2 years. Item 10, The Grove, section 11, performance bond for wastewater collection system, $186,500. Recommendation, convert to maintenance in the amount of $55,950 for a period of 2 years. Item 11, The Grove, section 13, performance bond for wastewater collection system, $215,000. Recommendation, convert to maintenance in the amount of $64,500 for a period of 2 years. And then dropping down to final plats, item 22, final plat review for Daventry subdivision, section 3, containing 24 lots on 19.45 acres in the 5th voting district. This plat is in order, and staff recommends approval of the final plat with the following conditions. 1, the approved HOA documents shall be concurrently recorded with the recording of the final plat. 2, posting of a performance bond in the amount of $370,000 for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Item 3, posting of a performance bond in the amount of $65,000 for water improvement as specified by Nolensville College Grove Utility District. Item 4, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $54,000 for the wastewater collection system. Item 5, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $46,600 for landscaping improvements. Item 6, execution of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Item 7, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And item 8, that the applicant provide 2 copies of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Planning Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Thank you, sir. Your motion on consent?
I move that we
Anyone
accept.
motion to
consent-
approve?
I move that we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second it. It's Robin Baldry.
Thank you, Robin. Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call a roll.
Sir, Commissioner Baldry,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Under continuing on the agenda, bonds, Mike, burning tree farms, maintenance bonds for road drainage and erosion control. You doing this or Mike,
Yes, sir.
you doing bonds?
We just did the consent agenda.
Sorry. I went to the wrong page. Agenda item 12 has been withdrawn. Agenda item 13 on the non-residential site plans, revised non-residential site plan review for Cox Lad non-traditional wastewater treatment facility on 108.65 acres located off Cox Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Aaron Holmes. At the April 2018 meeting, a revised site plan for the Cox Lad non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system was approved to add capacity to serve the proposed Pine Creek development. The concept plan for Pine Creek, which consists of 99 lots, was approved at the September 2018 meeting. These approvals depicted a drainage easement within the wastewater lot. Since that time, the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation reclassified the feature as a stream, which requires a waterway natural area located within open space. Therefore, the applicant is requesting approval of a revised site plan in order to correctly depict the waterway natural area that bisects wastewater lots 2 and 3, which are located in the northwest corner of the site. The required waterway natural area buffer has been depicted on the site plan. Additionally, a revised concept plan for the Pine Creek development depicting the required waterway natural area buffer appears as item 14 on this agenda. A revised design development report was prepared by the applicant and submitted to the county. County's wastewater consultant has reviewed the report and is recommending approval of the proposed site plan. The revised site plan is in order and staff recommends approval with the same conditions of approval that were established at the April 2018 meeting. One additional thing, Mr. Chairman, the Richard House from SEC is on the call with us if the Planning Commission has any questions.
Planning Commission, do you have any questions? Comments? Thoughts? Motion?
Motion to approve, Sanders.
Mr. Richter, second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Mike, call a roll.
Commissioner Baldry,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 14, revised concept plan review for Pine Creek subdivision containing 99 lots on 108.65 acres located off of Cox Road in the 5th voting district. This is a public hearing. Mike, did we have anyone signed up?
No, sir, nobody signed up for the public hearing.
We will not be having a public hearing. Go ahead with staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Aaron Holmes. A concept plan for this development was approved at the September 2018 meeting. The applicant is now requesting approval of a revised concept plan in order to correctly depict a waterway natural area that bisects wastewater lots 2 and 3, which are located in the northwest corner of the site. On previous submittals, this waterway natural area was depicted as a drainage easement, which is allowed to be located on lots. However, after further study, it was determined by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation that the feature was a stream and therefore would require a waterway natural area buffer. With the exception of the additional aforementioned required waterway natural area, the revised concept plan is identical to that which was approved in September 2018. No additional lots are proposed. This revised concept plan is in order, and so long as item 13 on this agenda was approved, staff recommends approval with the same conditions that were established at the April 2018 meeting.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? I'm sorry? Questions of staff?
Mr. Chairman, real quick, if I may just point out, I just realized there's a typographical error. It should not be the April 2018 meeting. It should be the September 2018 meeting.
Thank you, sir. Questions, comments?
Rohan, move to accept staff's recommendation.
Richter, second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
Yes. The motion carries. Thank you. Under concept plans, agenda item 15, concept plan review for Ambrose Estates containing 11 lots on 22.8 acres located off Knowlesville Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Giovanna. The applicant is proposing an 11-lot major traditional subdivision. The property in question was recently rezoned from Rural Development 1 to the Triune Character Area 1 as of November 9th, 2020. However, the application was submitted prior to this change in zoning. Therefore, the application is being reviewed pursuant to the prior Rural Development 1 standards as required by the zoning ordinance. The review of a concept plan is the first stage in the development approval process. The subject property totals 22.8 acres and it is located off Nolensville Road, approximately 1/3 mile of its intersection with Old Murfreesboro Road. The proposed development consists of 11 lots ranging in size from approximately 1 acre to 1.5 acres. Wastewater will be handled via individual on-site septic. At the time of this writing, the Williamson County Department Sewage Disposal Management is still reviewing the request. The applicant has requested action on this item be deferred until March 2021 meeting to allow for additional time to address staff's comments. Staff concurs with this request.
Thank you, ma'am. Motion to defer.
Rose,
Move.
motion to defer.
I got 3 motions. I need a second.
Commissioner Richter, second.
Thank you. Mike, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Continuing under concept plans, concept plan review for Bonterra. Is that correct, Mike?
That's
Subdivision
correct.
containing 38 lots on 97.64 acres located off Meeks Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Aaron Holmes. The applicant is requesting concept approval of a 38-lot major traditional subdivision. On November 9th, 2020, the property in question was rezoned from the Rural Development 1 zoning district to the Rural Development 5 zoning district. However, a complete application was submitted prior to this change in zoning, and therefore, the application is being reviewed pursuant to the prior Rural Development 1 standards as required by the zoning ordinance. The review of a concept plan is the first stage in the development approval process. The subject properties total 97.64 acres and are located at the intersection of Paytonsville Trinity Road and Meeks Road. The site contains a number of natural resources, including moderate and very steep slopes, floodplain, wetlands, and a large area of woodlands. Approximately 32% of the site is covered in tree canopy. The required minimum 50-foot open space strip around the perimeter of the property has been provided. The proposed development consists of 38 lots, which range in size from 1 acre to approximately 1.5 acres. The overall density is 0.39 dwelling units per acre. Approximately 51% of the site will be preserved in open space, and 66% of the existing tree canopy will be retained, which meets the standards of the zoning ordinance. The traffic shed analysis performed by the applicant indicates that the proposed number of lots is within acceptable limits based upon the capacity of existing roadways. Access to the proposed development will be provided from a single entrance on Meeks Road, which is classified as a local roadway by the major thoroughfare plan. Per subsection 5.3(3)B of the Williamson County subdivision regulations, a dedication of 25 feet off the center line of Meeks Road and a dedication of 25 feet off the center line of Paytonsville Road is required and has been shown on the submitted plans. Within the development, the applicant is requesting a design speed of 25 miles per hour for internal roadways. Staff is in support of this request. Water service is provided by Millcrofton Utility District. Wastewater will be handled via a non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system for which a site plan was approved at the November 2020 meeting. Approximately 9.01 acres of the site will be utilized for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system, which includes the land application area, treatment facility, and storage pond. The proposed system will utilize a fixed film media bioreactor technology to treat wastewater generated by the proposed subdivision. A certificate of convenience and necessity has been issued by the Tennessee Public Utilities Commission, and a draft state operating permit has been issued by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. A design development report, as well as a detailed soils investigation report, were prepared by the applicant and submitted to the county. County's wastewater consultant has reviewed these reports and has concluded that all zoning ordinance requirements related to the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal systems have been met. It is staff's opinion that the combination of distance, topography, and existing vegetation will serve to adequately screen the treatment system from adjacent properties. A landscaping plan for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system has been submitted and approved. It should be noted that once detailed construction and engineering plans are prepared in conjunction with the submittal of a preliminary plat, changes to layout, including the potential for a reduction of lots and relocation of drainage infrastructure, may be necessary. A landscaping plan will also be required. Staff finds that the proposal meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance, subdivision regulations, and other applicable regulations, and recommends approval of this concept plan along with the request for a design speed of 25 miles per hour within the subdivision. In addition to considering compliance with the zoning ordinance, subdivision regulations, and other applicable regulations, the Planning Commission may also consider whether and the extent to which the proposal is consistent with the comprehensive plan. If the Planning Commission approves this proposal, staff recommends the following conditions be established. The preliminary plat must address the following. Number one, submission of roads, drainage, and erosion control plans for review and approval by the county. Number two, submission of water plans for review and approval by Millcrofton Utility District. And number three, submission of the applicable construction plans for the required wastewater disposal facilities to TDEC, county's consultant, and staff. The final plat must address the following. Number one, prior to final plat submittal for the first section of the proposed subdivision, a zoning certificate must be obtained for the completed wastewater treatment and disposal system. Prior to issuance of the zoning certificate, the applicant shall provide the following. A letter from TDEC indicating that the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system was installed and is functioning. B, as-built drawings showing the location of all system components and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that said system was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. C, a letter from the owner/utility provider indicating that it has accepted said system and is currently operating same. D, posting of a performance bond in the amount of $117,900 for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system as specified by the county's wastewater consultant. E, posting of a performance bond in the amount of $42,800 for landscaping improvements. And F, execution of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Number 2, prior to consideration of final plat approval, the applicant shall submit HOA documents for review and approval by the county attorney's office. The HOA documents must be submitted with the final plat, and the approved HOA documents must be recorded concurrently with the recording of the final plat. Number 3, the dedication of right-of-way 25 feet off the center line of Meeks Road. Number 4, the dedication of right-of-way 25 feet off the center line of Paytonsville Trinity Road. Number 5, establishment of performance bonds for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number 6, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of Millcrofton Utility District. Number 7, establishment of a performance bond for the wastewater collection system. Number 8, submission of landscaping plans and establishment of a performance bond for landscaping. Number 9, execution of a performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Number 10, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And number 11, submission of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Thanks, sir. Questions of staff? Comments?
John, it's Robin. I have a couple.
Go.
One is, I was looking at the subdivision and it's a very small subdivision. Seems like 25 miles per hour is fast in this small subdivision. So that's my comment on that. I think that should be reduced to at least 20. Secondly, the 25 feet of right of way on both the roads. So what is that for? Utilities or?
Commissioner
Aaron?
Baldry, that is if the county were to ever come through to widen either road, the right-of-way on this side of the road would already be there in the county's possession.
Okay, my third question, had 3, not 2. On Paytonsville Trinity Road, coming from towards Arno Road, turning right onto Meeks Road, that's like a 4-way intersection there. You'll stop on Meeks Road and you'll stop on I can't think of the name of the road that goes in there. I drive it all the time. At any rate, would it not seem to be safer to have a right turn lane onto Meeks Road from Paytonsville Trinity Road, turn right onto Meeks Road? That's a pretty busy road. There's quite a few new subdivisions down through there. Meeks Road, I don't think so, even though there's a lot of, there's 2 new subdivisions coming on that road, and this is the 3rd one. It seems like Paytonsville Trinity is a really busy road, a lot of new subdivisions on that road, and I feel like there should be a right-hand turn lane because that could be a dangerous little intersection.
Commissioner, there was a traffic shed analysis. Mike, do you want to chime in for us, please?
Well, I guess what I would say is that given the small number of lots, all that the zoning ordinance requires of them is to do that traffic shed analysis, and they were within the limits that were given to them. And so the ordinance does not require any off-site improvements of them. Now, whether they would be willing to provide some, I suspect that the applicant is on the call, but in terms of us being able to enforce that based on our regulations, I don't think we have that ability.
Right, I understand that, definitely. Just like, this is the 3rd subdivision on Meeks Road. And even though it's a small one, which looks like it's going to be really nice, and I just feel like for safety reasons, we should have a right-hand turn lane onto Meeks Road because of getting the cars off the road. Because again, Paytonsville Trinity is a busy road with a lot of new subdivisions out there. So that's my comments on it.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? No more comments or motion?
Commissioner Richter move for approval with staff recommendation.
Is there a second?
Rose second.
Sanders, second.
Thank you, sir. Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Sorry about that. Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Cohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Continuing under concept plans, agenda item 17, concept plan review for Fairhaven subdivision containing 49 lots on 55.4 acres located off Bethesda Road in the second voting district. Commissioner Rector, I understand you want to recuse from that.
Yes, sir. Chairman Lackey, I would definitely like to recuse from this item.
Thank you. You are recused. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Giovanna. The applicant is requesting concept plan approval for a 49-lot conservation subdivision. The property in question was rezoned from the Rural Development 1 to the Rural Development 5 zoning district as of November 9, 2020. However, a complete application was submitted prior to this change in zoning. Therefore, the application is being reviewed pursuant to the prior Rural Development 1 standards as required by the zoning ordinance. The review of a concept plan is the first stage in the development approval process. The subject property totals 55.04 acres and is located on the north side of Bethesda Road, east of Lewisburg Pike. The site contains a number of natural resources, including moderate and very steep slopes, small areas of woodlands, and multiple streams. All natural resources protection standards have been met. The required open space strip around the perimeter of the property has been provided. The proposed development consists of 49 lots, which range in size from approximately 10,100 square feet to 20,600 square feet. The overall density is 0.88 dwelling units per acre. 69% of the site will be preserved in open space, which meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance. The roads within this development will be private. It should be noted that private roads and gated communities are now allowable pursuant to the text amendment recommended by this body at the November 2019 meeting and adopted by the County Commission in January of 2020. A traffic access analysis was conducted by the applicant and reviewed by the county's traffic engineer consultant. The county's traffic engineer consultant is recommending that the applicant construct one exclusive left turn lane on the southbound approach of Lewisburg Pike at its intersection with Bethesda Road, and one exclusive right turn lane on the westbound approach of Bethesda Road at Lewisburg Pike. The county's traffic consultant has determined that a traffic signal at the intersection of Lewisburg Pike and Bethesda Road is not warranted by the projected traffic volumes. Although not required, the applicant has agreed to construct a right-hand deceleration lane on Bethesda Road at the site entrance. Access to the proposed development will be provided from a single entrance on Bethesda Road, which is classified as a collector roadway by the major thoroughfare plan. A right-of-way dedication of 30 feet off the center line of Bethesda Road is required and has been shown on the submitted plans. Additionally, a dedication of 48 feet off the center line of Lewisburg Pike is necessary and has been shown on the submitted plans. Within the development, the applicant is requesting a right-of-way width of 40 feet in order to locate sidewalks outside of the right-of-way and a design speed of 25 miles per hour for internal roadways. Staff is in support of these requests. Water will be provided by HB&TS Utility District. Wastewater will be handled via non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system for which a site plan was approved at the November 2020 meeting. Approximately 3.61 acres of the site will be utilized for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system, which includes the land application area, treatment facility, and storage pond. The proposed system will utilize recirculating sand filter technology to treat wastewater generated by the proposed subdivision. A certificate of convenience and necessity has been issued by the Tennessee Public Utilities Commission, and a draft state operating permit has been issued by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. A design development report as well as detailed soils investigation report were prepared by the applicant and submitted to the county. The county's wastewater consultant has reviewed these reports and has concluded that all zoning ordinance requirements related to the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal systems have been met. It is staff's opinion that the combination of distance, topography, and existing vegetation will serve to adequately screen the treatment system from adjacent properties. A landscaping plan for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system has been submitted and approved. It should be noted that once detailed construction and engineer plans are prepared in conjunction with the submittal of a preliminary plat, changes to the layout, including the potential for a reduction of lots and relocation of drainage infrastructure, may be necessary. A landscaping plan will also be required. Staff finds that this proposal meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance, subdivision regulations, and other applicable regulations, and recommends approval of this concept plan along with the requested 40-foot right-of-way width and a design speed of 25 miles per hour within the subdivision. In addition to considering compliance with the zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations provision, the Planning Commission may also consider whether and to the extent to which the proposal is consistent with the comprehensive plan. If the Planning Commission approves this proposal, staff recommends the following conditions be established. The preliminary plat must address the following. 1, prior to the submittal of the preliminary plat, all outside improvements as specified in the traffic access analysis review letter from the county's traffic consultant must be approved by the county highway department or the Tennessee Department of Transportation as applicable. Number 2, submission of roads, drainage, and erosion control plans for review and approval by the county engineer. Number 3, submission of water plans for review and approval by HB and TS district. And number 4, submission of applicable construction plans for required wastewater disposal facilities to TDEC, the county's consultant, and staff. The final plat must address the following. Number 1, prior to final plat submittal for the first section of the proposed subdivision, a zoning certificate must be obtained for the completed wastewater treatment and disposal system. Prior to issuance of the zoning certificate, the applicant shall provide the following. A letter from TDEC indicating that the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system was installed and is functioning. B, as-built drawings showing the location of all system components and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that said system was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. C, a letter from the owner utility provider indicating that it has accepted said system and is currently operating same. D, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $112,500 for the non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system as specified by the county's wastewater consultants. E, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $77,500 for landscaping improvements. And F, execution of a performance agreement for the above referenced sureties. Number 2, prior to submittal of a final plat, all offsite improvements as specified in the traffic access analysis review letter from the county's traffic consultant must be completed to the satisfaction of the county's highway superintendent or the Tennessee Department of Transportation as applicable. Number 3, dedication of a right-of-way of 30 feet off the center line of the dedication of Bethesda Road. Number 4, dedication of a right-of-way of 48 feet off the center line of Lewisburg Pike. Number 5, prior to consideration of final plat approval, the applicant shall submit HOA documents for review and approval by the county attorney's office. The HOA documents must be submitted with the final plat, and the approved HOA documents must be recorded concurrently with the recording of the final plat. Number 6, establishment of a performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number 7, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of HB and TS. establishment of a performance bond for the wastewater collection system. Number 9, submission of landscaping plans and establishment of a performance bond for landscaping. Number 10, prior to installation of the security gate, a permit for the gate will need to be obtained, and all requirements for such gates as outlined in section 17.11 of the zoning ordinance will need to be met. Number 11, execution of performance agreements for the above sureties, reference sureties. Number 12, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And number 13, submission of the approved final plat in .wg format for unrecordable media based on the Tennessee State Plane Coordinate System prior to the signature and recording of the plat.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions of staff? Anyone? Motion? Anybody out
Motion to
there?
approve. Sanders. Staff's recommendations.
Second, Commissioner Lane.
Thank you, sir. Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call a roll.
Yes, yes, sir. Commissioner Baldry,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian, Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter. I'm sorry, he recused himself. Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
and Chairman Lackey.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Under preliminary plats, preliminary plat review for the Grove Phase 11, containing 82 lots on 65.97 acres located off Arno Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Aaron Holmes. A revised concept plan for this development was approved at the May 2020 meeting, and the applicant is now requesting approval of a preliminary plat for the 11th phase of the development, which contains 82 lots and approximately 27.5 acres of open space. The preliminary plat is consistent in layout with that depicted on the revised concept plan, and staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat with the following conditions, which shall be addressed in conjunction with final plat consideration. Number 1, establishment of a performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number 2, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of Millcrofton Utility District. Number 3, establishment of a performance bond for the wastewater collection system as applicable. Number 4, submission of landscaping plans and establishment of a performance bond for landscaping. Number 5, execution of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Number 6, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. Number 7, submission of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plane Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Comments?
Chairman Lackey, this is Commissioner Lucian. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was trying to speak on item 17. I kept speaking up. I guess no one could hear me. So I left the meeting and returned. I don't know if it's too late, but I wanted to make some comments on that one before we voted.
We've already voted. You still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just,
I said we've already
Flustered.
voted. So there's,
right, I
We
know.
can't- do it again.
Okay,
Okay?
I guess, yeah, we just have to move on. I don't know what else I can do. I mean, I was speaking and I know you guys could hear me before that, so it was strange because I kept saying your name and speaking up, but I guess no one could hear me.
I did not hear you. I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. Okay, agenda item 18.
Rose recommends approval as per staff recommendations.
Richter, second.
Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Mike, call a roll.
Commissioner Baldry,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan, Commissioner Crohan, you still with us?
His mic's on, showing green.
Okay. Commissioner, we just can't hear you, Mr. Crohan. I'm not sure why, all of a sudden. Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 19, continuing under preliminary plat review for Kings Chapel, phase 14, containing 0 lots on 35.57 acres located off of Meadowbrook Drive in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Aaron Holmes. A revised concept plan for this development was approved at the September 2008 meeting. The applicant is now requesting preliminary plat approval for the 14th phase of the development, which consists of no buildable lots and will be used as the drip area for the wastewater treatment and disposal system. There are no bondable improvements within this phase of the development. It should be noted that prior to submittal of any additional final plats for this development that includes buildable lots, all roadway improvements on State Route 96 shall be constructed as stipulated in the traffic study review findings provided by the county's traffic engineering consultant. Improvements include the second entrance onto State Route 96, 2 exit lanes, and both right and left turn lanes from State Route 96. The plat is in order and staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat with the following conditions, which must be addressed in conjunction with final plat consideration. Number 1, prior to submittal of any additional final plats of this development, off-site roadway improvements as stipulated in the traffic study review findings provided by the county's traffic engineering consultant, including the second entrance to the development and associated turn lanes, must be completed to the satisfaction of TDOT. Number 2, execution of stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And number 3, providing 2 copies of the approved final plat in DWP format on a recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the final plat.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Comments? Motion?
Commissioner Richter move for approval with recommendations of staff.
Rose second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Mike, call a roll.
Commissioner Baldry,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Continuing on the agenda under final plats, agenda item 20, final plat review for Timothy Grove subdivision, large lot easement containing 5 lots on 41.88 acres located off of Drumlight Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Giovanna. The subject parcel is approximately 42 acres in size and it's located off Drumright Road, approximately 1/3 mile from Wagoneer Lane. The applicant is requesting approval of a large lot easement subdivision in order to create 5 lots off a new 50-foot ingress, egress utilities easement. At this time, the applicant is requesting deferral to the February 2021 meeting to allow more time to address outstanding comments from the county departments. Staff concurs with this request.
Thank you, ma'am. Motion to defer.
So moved. Commissioner,
Lane,
Second.
second.
Thank you, sir. Mike, call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, who was the second on that one? I missed that.
Wayne,
Commissioner Lane,
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
yes.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
yes, motion carries. Thank you. Continuing under final plats, agenda item 21. Final plat review for Drumright Hill subdivision, large lot easement containing 5 lots on 28.94 acres located off Drumright Road in the 5th voting district. Staff,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Giovanna again. The subject parcel is approximately 29 acres in size and is located off Drumright Road, approximately 1/3 mile from Wagoneer Lane. The applicant is requesting approval of a large lot easement subdivision to create 5 lots off a new 50-foot ingress, egress utility easement. At this time, the applicant is requesting deferral to the February 2021 meeting to allow for more time to address outstanding comments from the county departments. Staff concurs with this request.
motion to defer.
Decision move to approve.
Hatcher, second.
Commissioner
Motion
Richter would
made.
like to make a motion to defer and not for approval.
I'm sorry, say that again.
The recommendation was for approval. Don't we need to make that
Sorry,
for
I thought I
deferral?
heard defer. I'm sorry. My bad. I thought I heard defer. Let's start over.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, this is Mike Madison. The recommendation by staff is for a deferral. I think the original motion made by Commissioner Lucian was to approve. And so I think she probably intended to approve the staff recommendation rather than approve the development.
That's correct. Yes. Approve staff's recommendation to defer.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry.
Thought I'd lost it.
Second.
A motion, we have a second on that. Mike?
Commissioner Richter, second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Prepare to vote. Mike, call the roll.
Commissioner Baldwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Crohan,
Don, wave your hand if you can hear us. Your right hand if you approve. Thank you.
Commissioner Hatcher,
Yes.
Commissioner Lane,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucian,
Yes.
Commissioner McCord,
Yes.
Commissioner Richter,
Yes.
Mr. Rose,
Yes.
Mr. Sanders,
Yes.
Chairman Lackey.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Continuing on the final plats. Agenda item last, number 22, final plat review for Daventry subdivision, section 3, containing 24 lots on 19.45 acres located off Toss Road in the 5th voting district. Staff,
Mr. Chairman, this item was on consent.
really? Well, my apologies. We're done. Is there a motion to go home? Nobody wants to go home?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.